A nun who is the main fan of a guy seduces him and does everything to be together with him, even committing felonies.
Audio Jungle.
Hi everyone, you're on the Recap Lab channel, and today I'm going to tell you a story called Naughty Nun. Like this one, it all starts with a musician named Jason who is gaining popularity on social media. He and his sister Zoe are brought to study at a Catholic church after summer vacation. Even though his father is against his son's musical career, the boy still took the guitar to school despite the taboo. The principal, Sister Rebecca, promises the parents to protect their son, and then introduces him to the new school teacher, named Sophia. If the girl could not take her eyes off the student, Jason greeted her rather coldly. Sister Rebecca apologizes for the boy, telling him how difficult it is for him to find communication with his family. It turns out that during summer vacation, in addition to partying all the time, a drunken Jason crashed his father's car. After that, the man is strict with his son. A little later, the director gets to know closer the new teacher. Sophia has a great reference from the past institution, but Sister Rebecca is embarrassed only by the makeup on the nun's face. The girl herself listens non-stop to Jason's songs in her room, and then she manages to enjoy his work live. Sophia confesses that she knows there is a problem in his family, so she suggests we talk sometime in private. The next day, the new teacher is introduced to his class. Sophia notices Jason having a nice conversation with Sarah, and immediately moves her away from the guy. Zoe is embarrassed by the nun's behavior, as she forgot about the prayer before the class started and doesn't even seem to know it. The girl is completely different from her brother. She devotes all her free time to her studies, but still worries about Jason, and is clearly against his relationship with Sarah. The guy doesn't agree with her. It's like he's tired of being controlled by his relatives. Hearing this conversation, Sophia meets Jason and wonders if he has a girlfriend and is very surprised that such a popular guy has no one. The guy can't believe that the nun has a crush on him, but he clearly has no idea that Sophia spends all her free time on his art. The next morning, the nun is furious when she sees Sarah kissing Jason. Sophia warns him that she won't tolerate that in the church anymore. And after class she calls Jason to her room for an educational talk. The nun accidentally leaves the door open so the student can peek in, and her plan works. The boy couldn't think of anything else, and all night long he dreamt about Sophia. Every Friday, the parents take the children home for the weekend, and Sophia notices that Sarah is once again hitting on Jason. The girl asks Rebecca to spend the weekend away from the church, as she supposedly wants to visit her seriously ill aunt. The boy, as usual, has an argument with his father about his music career. Left alone, he has no idea that Sophia is watching him. Hearing the sweet talk with Sarah, the girl becomes enraged. When the students return to school, the nun sneaks into Sarah's room and plants an illegal substance. The next day, there is a scandal at school when a teacher allegedly accidentally notices the substance in Sarah's possession. The school authorities have no choice but to expel her. After that, Sophia offers to check the rooms of the other students, and, strangely enough, Jason is spotted with alcohol. The boy tries to justify himself, but no one believes him, and then Sophia nobly stands up for the student, offering a punishment to keep him at school for the weekend. Afterwards, the priest admires the nun's mercy, and the girl tells him that her path to God began with a song. Sophia recalls the first time she saw Jason's video, and then decided to get him at any cost. After learning that a new teacher had been invited to his school, she decided to seize the moment, and, after catching up with the nun, ruthlessly massacred her. For the weekend the girl did not leave her boyfriend for a minute, and Zoya, having decided to support her brother and stay with him at school, notices the strange behavior of a nun. At night Sophia even penetrates Jason's room. The guy tries to hold on, but the persistent Sophia still seduces him and filming everything on the phone. In the morning, Jason, realizing that he made a huge mistake, tries to explain it to the nun, but she assures him that they were meant for each other. When the boy went to breakfast, the girl enjoys the smell of his clothes, but suddenly Zoe notices her. The nun excuses herself, supposedly checking for banned substances. Now Zoe is even more worried about her brother, and Sophia realizes this, and decides to set her up. The nun tells her that the girl has an unsatisfactory grade on her test. The student hesitates, as she is the best at preparing for class, but Sophia mercifully gives her a chance to correct her grade. The teacher purposely leaves the answers to the test on the table, and when the girl out of curiosity decides to check them against her past work, the nun immediately takes her to the principal. Sophia complains about the girl, telling her everything, but Rebecca knows Zoe as one of the best students, so she forgives her. Meanwhile, Jason still can't forgive himself for the night with the teacher, and decides to confess to the father. He realizes that he made a mistake, but it turns out that Sophia has been listening to him the whole time, and she manages to seduce Jason again. A few days later, the bishop arrives at the school, who knows Sophia well as a good teacher. And Rebecca begins to have doubts, for she has never met a stricter nun. The women decide to invite Sophia to meet with the bishop, but she understands everything and decides to leave the school immediately in order to visit her aunt, who has become much worse. In the evening, Jason, having quarreled with his father again, decides to spite his parents and accept Sarah's invitation to a party at her house. She tries to seduce the boy, but Jason, remembering about Sophia, rejects Sarah. Confused about his feelings, he goes for a walk, but is stopped by a policeman. Noticing the alcohol, he decides to detain the guy, but suddenly Sophia, who has been following him all evening, comes to Jason's rescue. The officer is unable to resist the nun's request, deciding to let the boy go with his teacher. Jason doesn't want to go home to his parents, so Sophia takes him to a hotel. The guy tries to stop the girl by telling her that their relationship is a big mistake, but Sophia confesses her love. Thanks to her wealth, she is willing to support Jason in Paris, where the guy will study music. Jason, realizing that Sophia has obvious problems with the head, no longer wants to see her, after which the girl finally goes crazy. Meanwhile, Jason's father reflects on his wife's words that their son has his own way in life. Soon the man finds his son and, after asking for forgiveness, promises that he will respect his dream. Eventually Jason finally makes peace with his father and returns home. It turns out that Sophia had been following him all night, and Zoya spots him before he leaves for school, her car. Already arriving at school, Jason sees Sophia unconscious on her bed and is horrified to find a pile of pills. Worried for her life, the guy does CPR. But it turns out Sophia did it to make sure Jason loves her. The guy is furious and threatens to tell the principal, but Sophia reminds him of his parents, who find out everything. After a few days, Sarah returns to school. Sophia is not happy about it, but Rebecca explains that her powerful parents sponsor the school. Jason, in turn, decided to take advantage of the moment. In front of Sophia, proposes to Sarah to spend more time together. Finally losing her mind, the woman decided to get rid of the rival. Nun goes to Sarah's shower and makes it look like an accident. Jason guesses that it was Sophia's fault and wants to tell the police everything, but the girl shows him a video of their first night and blackmails the guy. On Friday, Sophia goes away for the weekend again, saying that her aunt passed away. In the evening she follows Jason again, who is having dinner with his family in a restaurant. Parents got acquainted with the teacher of their children, invites her to join them for dinner. She immediately puts the phone on the table, hinting to the guy that he should not say too much. During the conversation, Zoya notices inaccuracies in Sophia's story about her homeland, but the cunning girl manages to turn it into a joke. After dinner, her brother has no choice but to confess everything to his sister. Meanwhile, Rebecca wants to send flowers to the funeral, but learns that such a woman does not exist. The next morning, Rebecca calls Sophia for a talk. The guys manage to sneak into the nun's room. There they find the laptop of the real Sophia. Finally realizing that the teacher is an imposter, and looking at everything on the laptop, they realize that she has long been watching Jason. At this time, Rebecca brings Sophia into the light, but the girl once again decides to get rid of their problems. Later, Jason and Zoe look for Rebecca and they come across Sophia. They threaten to put her in jail, and she tries to get rid of her sister, who is interfering with their happiness. At that moment, Rebecca comes to the rescue, but the girl finds the strength to stop her as well. But suddenly the psychopath gets a powerful blow from her love. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel.